Next thing I want to turn to is I mentioned one of the Mean Girl squad, you know, the four women who were particularly the brunt of President Trump's accusations. One of them is a newly elected Democrat member of Congress from New York named Ayanna Pressley. And she was part of the Mean Girl squad, you know, presser yesterday. They all spoke. It was just no one addressed the substance of what Trump is saying. No one addressed why is it okay that Ayanna Pressley, has called out Ilhan Omar, as a anti-Semite, that her anti-Semitism is rooted in her Islamic teaching. None of those women got up there to say anything about anti-Semitism. They didn't say, that Ilhan Omar was out of line and the kind of things she says are so anti-Semitic, they're so anti-Jewish. No one, all they did was spend their time talking about their radical left-wing agenda, which is open borders, don't detain anyone at the border, free health care for everybody, free education for everybody. They push their agenda all under the guise of calling Trump a white nationalist. I want you to hear what Ayanna Pressley, this is now again the Democrat Congresswoman from New York, what she said at a Netroots convention very recently. I hope we have this happy clip. Ayanna Pressley at Netroots convention. Here she is.
We don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. Come on, speak it.
She's being cheered on for saying a truly, genuinely racist thing. What you just heard Ayanna Pressley, a member of the United States Congress, say is that if you have black skin, you are only welcome in her political world if you will salute to and surrender to precisely the views on the policies and issues she stands for. You're only welcome if you agree with her. She said the same thing about black people, brown people. She used the word queer, referring to the LGBT community. She's basically saying, don't even think of speaking up in this country if you're a person of color unless you completely 100% submit to the left-wing agenda that Ayanna Pressley holds. The left-wing agenda Ayanna Pressley pushes. This is the most racist thing in the world, more racist than anything that I have heard out of a politician in a long time. Understand what she's saying. She's saying if based on your skin color, she, the ruling elite, Ayanna Pressley, will tell you what you're allowed to think. She'll tell you that you have no place in politics if you have a certain skin color unless you salute to exactly what she thinks. She's telling you, based on your skin color, what you're allowed to think. And that if you don't think what she thinks, you should just shut up. This is her opinion. This is obviously what her statement was cheered on by the radical left at the Netroots convention. But what she's saying is people of color are not allowed to think. That they can only hold opinions that she agrees with. That if people of color dare to speak up and they don't agree with her on her radical left-wing views, they should just shut up. They should just stay out of politics. The most racist thing of all is to judge someone by the color of their skin. That's the whole point of the idea of racism. It is judging someone by the color of their skin and saying, because you have this color of skin, I don't need to hear a word out of you. I don't need to know anything about your education, anything about your background, anything about your career. Because you have this skin color, I already know these things about you. I associate these qualities about you, these limitations about you, these viewpoints about you. She's saying that she judges people by their color. She's saying she does not believe in the respect of the individual, which is the whole point of fighting racism. The whole point of fighting racism is to respect the individual and the right of the individual to form his or her views based on their education, their life experience, their faith, their values, their opinions. She's saying no. No. No thinking. If you're a person of color, no thinking for you. You're only welcome in politics. And she's, she tries to talk about, in fact, the expression of it was, we have no need for blacks, gays, and Muslims who will not play identity politics. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. She's deciding what it means to be a black voice. She's saying, to me, to be a black voice, you must agree with her on leftism, on every idiotic left-wing idea she has. Otherwise, she's saying to black America, shut up. This is racism, raw, pure, in your face. And this is, frankly, she's a good example of it. And frankly, one of the more, the times we actually get a little bit of a window inside left-wing thinking. She's not unique in this at all. She got exposed a bit because she chose to speak at a conference where people love her racist idea that people of color, people who are black, shouldn't run unless there'll be a black voice in her definition, which means which means radical left-wing policies. She got caught, but what she's saying is really the core, the root of much of the thinking on the American left. They, of all people, judge people by the color of their skin.